No.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Good evening, and welcome to the Edison Municipal Council Reorganization Meeting. Today is Thursday, January 4th, 2024. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first order of business is going to be the swearing in of and the administration of the oaths of office to the council members. We're going to start with newest council member Asaf Shmuel. Asaf, sorry. My apologies.
Why wasn't he sitting up there? Again. Oh, I guess.
Right up there with the mayor.
So if the family members of Asaf can also come up, or whoever wants to be here.
And maybe everyone.
You can call up everyone. That's okay. So, okay. Face this. Does anyone else want to hold?
Do you want to hold it? Yeah.
Sorry. You're gonna face this way. There you go. And it's. Please repeat after me. I, Asaf Shmuel, sorry.
You have to learn this, Mayor.
I do. I, Asaf Shmuel,
I, Asaf Shmuel,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of member of the council
of member of the council
for the Township of Edison
for the Township of Edison,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, council member. Take a photo.
I'm gonna come over. Yeah. Okay.
Next, we're going to have AJ Patil.
Are you ready? Okay. Please repeat after me. I, E.G. Patil,
I, Ajay Patil,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance
and to the governments established in the United States
to the government established in the United States,
and in this state
this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as member of council
as a member of council
for the Township of Edison,
of the Township of Edison,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God. Congratulations.
Joseph Coyle.
Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of member of the council for the Township of Edison according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
And Mr. Richard Brescher.
Job. Journey, you wanna hold it? Your grandkids. There you go. Right hand, Rich.
Councilman, repeat after me. I, Richard Brescher, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance of the same, and to the government established in the United States and in the state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all duties of member of the council for the Township of Edison according to the best of my abilities. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, honey.
Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle. Here. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
A new Councilmember Schmumel.
Excellent.
Here.
Schmoo.
Madam Clerk, notice requirements.
Adequate notices of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by an annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Desi Talk, and News India Times on December 12th, 2023, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Now move to nominations for the position of Council President for 2024.
Mr. Burns,
Recognize Mr. Pointer.
it is my honor to nominate Councilman Nish Patel for the position of Council President for the year 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Madam,
Becky, I'm sorry.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
And Councilmember Schuel.
Yes.
Vote having passed. Councilmember Patil will now swear the oath of office for the position of Council President.
I, Nish Patel, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of Council President for the Township of Edison according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Which document? Which one?
You want to do it now? Yeah, we can do it.
I'm switching with Nish over to me.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm switching with Nish.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, I need it.
Yep. Turn over the meeting to your capable hands.
I've been thrown out of better places than this. Charles, you shall you move. Nish comes to his seat.
Stay. All right.
And now opening up the nomination for Vice President. Do I have any motion?
Council President Patel,
Yes, Council Pointer.
it is my honor to nominate Councilwoman Harris for the position of Vice President.
And do I have a second? Second. And now we do a roll call.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shumal.
Yes.
Council President Patel. I, Margot Harris, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in the state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of Council Vice President for the Township of Edison, according to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed colleagues and beloved community members, good evening and Happy New Year. I sit here this evening humbled by the trust you have placed in me as your new council president. I am filled with a sense of profound responsibility and optimism for the future of our town. First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the administration and the exceptional team that tirelessly works behind the scenes. Your commitment and relentless efforts in managing our town are truly commendable and do not go unnoticed. And it is with your support that we can dream and achieve greater heights. To my fellow council members, thank you for choosing me to serve in this pivotal role. I am honored to work alongside such devoted, knowledgeable, and caring individuals. Lastly, but most importantly, I would like to thank my beautiful wife, Himali, and my family, whose support and encouragement have been my constant source of strength and inspiration. As we step into 2024, our focus will be on completion of our master plan, a plan that resonates with our current needs and wants, and also that looks to the future, guaranteeing that we are not just planning for today, but for generations to come. Advancing our municipal broadband initiative is another crucial goal, effectively making broadband wires a town-owned infrastructure. Controlling these wires will allow us to steer our digital destiny, offering residents more affordable rates, superior services, and increased market competition, breaking us free from this existing natural monopoly. We will also aspire to create a more pedestrian and bike-friendly Edison. And by doing so, we are not just building paths and lanes, we are nurturing a sense of belonging for our children, laying the groundwork for a healthier and more cohesive community. In our commitment to progress, we will update our codes, providing clear direction to our planning and zoning board. This step is crucial in guiding thoughtful, sustainable growth and addressing the concerns of overdevelopment. Furthermore, it is critical we transfer our website into a primary tool of communication and engagement. In this digital age, active online presence is a key in promoting transparency and involving the community. And now, as the saying goes, safety first and safety will remain a top priority. We are dedicated to keeping our communities safe and taking further steps to enhance the security and well-being of all our residents. I will assume that not all council members are in agreement with this approach. And where our perspectives differ, I commit to assuming good faith and striving together to forge a better new vision. So as we embark on this journey, let's remember that our collective efforts shape the world we live for the future generation. This is our time to plan smarter, act boldly, and dream bigger. Thank you for entrusting me with this great honor and responsibility. Let's work together to make our town a beacon of progress and a place where we are proud to call home. Thank you. I would like to recognize Council Vice President Margot Harris.
Let me start out by wishing everybody here a happy and healthy new year and welcoming you to what I see as Congregation Beth Shmuel. It's nice to have everybody here. I am honored to be chosen to serve another term as Council Vice President. It was a wonderful experience doing so last year with former Council President John Pointer, and I think he did a superb job, and I'm looking forward to more of the same with new Council President, with Nish Patel. And I look forward to a very spirited collaboration, and I know that we will be talking quite often about the priorities for this year. I think some of the things that I have been particularly proud of over the last year was the formation of the Cultural Arts Committee, hopefully again, I'm going to say it again, soon to be Cultural Arts Commission, and we have some very big plans ahead. So I'm really proud to be a member of that committee. Also, the fact that we are not done with the public advocate resolution, with that ordinance. We are hoping to get that going, and we've run into some speed bumps along the way, but we are committed to going forward with a public advocate ordinance. Also, I'm very happy about the establishment of the subcommittee to the animal shelter. We are going to have our first meeting on January 16th at noon at the animal shelter. And I think everyone's going to be very pleased with this particular collaboration as well. I think a lot of the things that people have been concerned about with regard to the way the animal shelter has been run and how overcrowded it's been, I think we're going to see a lot of positive changes. We're very encouraged. So in closing, I just want to say a humble thank you to those people who supported me on council. And I want to let everyone know, whether here in this audience or watching on the TV or the YouTube channel, I want everyone to know that I am available at any time that you need me. You can email me, you can call me, you can text me, and I'm happy to talk to you at any time. So I thank you again for this honor, and I look forward to serving in 2024. Thank you so much.
So in my nervousness, I forgot to congratulate Asaf Shmuel. Congratulations. And to the newly re-elected council members. Moving on to the public comment on the resolution. And I just go by the sheet, right?
On this, we just ask them if anybody has public comment, they raise their hand.
Anybody have a public comment on the resolutions? All right. Seeing none, I need a motion to close the public.
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All right, the public portion is closed. Sorry. Moving. All right. Anything to be pulled for a separate vote for the proposed resolutions?
R003
All right, Councilman Brusher, who wants to pull R003?
and 3% cancellation R005.
And 005. Anyone else wants to pull anything for the consent agenda?
Yeah, Council President, I have the R001. I have just a question there, so that's why I'm pulling this out.
Okay, and we'll start in order of the agenda. So, Councilman A.J. Patil, why don't you take it?
So question on R001, cash management plan. I saw a bunch of banks listed out there. Question to, through council president, question to administration. I saw the bank on the Morristown. Is there any reason that we don't have any bank in the Middlesex County where we should be doing the business while we are going out of the county?
Councilman, can you repeat your question, please?
It's good, that's the beginning of the year. We are not paying attention. Is there a reason that we are choosing a bank which is not from the Middlesex County, but it is from the Morristown?
Sonia, if you can answer the question, why we're choosing a bank from not Middlesex County?
Bank.
They're used for state accounts, and therefore, that's why we have to use them.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They're used for state accounts, and that's why they're being used.
Okay. Any other questions?
Understood, but that's for the state accounting. That doesn't prohibit using any bank from the Middlesex County. Is that correct?
Correct, and there are numerous there on the resolution that are Edison
Understood.
and
And
Middlesex County.
That's exactly the reason I'm asking, what is our interest in Morristown and not in Middlesex County?
I think
Again,
this-
USA
I
Bank
think
is-
she answered it, and I don't think she has any further explanation.
She should have, because the state of New Jersey doesn't mandate going out of the county. The question is very plain and simple, why we are going to Morristown? Yes, we might have used that in the past, but is there any specific reason we are doing business with outside? That state doesn't do in Middlesex County.
You're confusing the location versus the bank, and the bank itself is located in Morristown. However, the bank is used for state accounting.
Okay, I don't think I'm getting answer, but I will pass on.
All right, moving on to agenda number 3, Councilman Brusher.
Yes, number 3, on the temporary appropriations, it was a simple question. I seen that we had an allotment for the volunteer, I guess, is it EMS? I think it was $14,000, but we normally pay them, with the past administration, they were paid not on a quarterly basis, they were paid in like a one-time lump sum. So I was just wondering why we put them in for $14,000 if we pay them as a lump sum, that was all.
Are you referring to the temporary appropriations, or are you referring to EMS?
The temporary appropriations.
The temporary appropriations by law 26.25.
Oh, so even though we're not going to pay them in full, you're just billing in total the 26% overall in the general budget?
The general budget, the temporary budget.
Okay, so we'll end up holding that until we have all the funds and we pay them. That's, okay, thank you.
And moving on to agenda number 5, Councilman Brusher.
5, I have just a question. It says cancellation of small balances for 2024. But when I looked at the agenda, I gotta open it up now. It didn't seem to talk about small balances.
It references the $10 amount for small balances. Is that your question?
Yes, like when I looked at 5, it says the tax collector from time to time, there are credits for delinquencies and property taxes, stores, municipal charges, and other properties located within the town. But what does this have to do with, so that's just us, it allows the township to cancel small balances, so like if somebody's owed $4,
Correct.
you can just cancel that out as opposed to sending the envelope and mailing it and costing us more than the $4.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
That would be it, Council President.
Councilman Patil, do you want to combine it with Councilman Brusher's
I would say, have a separate vote.
separate vote? Okay, sounds fine. And would you like to combine the two that
You
have?
can.
Okay. So let's first vote on the consent agenda, which would be 2, official newspaper of the publication of legal notices, 4, resolution authorizing temporary appropriation for 2024 sanitation budget, 6, resolution setting rate of interest, grace period, year-end penalty for 2024, and 7, resolution authorizing accelerated tax sales and fees for 2024. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second?
Cheryl, roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schumel. Schumel. Schumel.
Shmuel.
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 You got it.
You.
Council President Patel.
Yes.
Yes. The consent agenda passes. Now we'll take a roll call on 1, which is cash management plan for 2024.
Just a point of clarification, since it's pulled for a separate vote, and sorry to interject, we would still need a motion and a second to.
You're right,
put that
you're
on.
right. Can I get a motion for consent agenda 1, agenda 1, cash management plan of 2024?
Motion to approve R001.
Second?
Cheryl, roll call?
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
No.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shunel.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. Can I get a motion for agenda 3, resolution authorizing temporary appropriation for 2024 municipal budget, and 5, resolution authorizing processing or cancellation of small balance for 2024?
Motion to approve R003 and R005.
Second.
Motion by Point.
Motion by Councilmember Pointer, right? Second by Patel. Councilmember Brescher.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I was just looking at the signs in the audience. I didn't.
Yes, no.
03 and 05? Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
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 Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. So now we're off the consent agenda, moving to oral petition and remarks. First on the list, Maria Orchid. You are recognized. You're not, I don't think, I can't hear you.
Is that on?
Is
Is it on? Is it on?
Okay.
I do have some dates.
Oh,
And congratulations.
thank you, Maria. But name and address,
Orchid 83 Jefferson.
you are recognized.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
President and Marshall, congratulations. I do have some dates. January 11th is the open space meeting at 7 p.m. On January 13th, Kelly's Farm includes a fundraiser for the animals. On January 18th, we have an environmental commission meeting at 7 p.m. Please check with your seniors and disabled
Okay, for the Deer Committee, I was hoping someone can update Maria. Deer Committee. Yeah,
Who else is on the Deer Committee?
John is really the.
no, okay. Maria, I'll get you the answer on the Deer Committee once John comes back. Okay. All right, moving on to the next person, Joel Bassoff.
Happy New Year to everyone. And first, some words of appreciation.
Joel, name and address.
Joel Bassoff, 17 Beach Lane.
You're
Edison.
recognized.
Okay. I'd like to acknowledge some of the unsung heroes that keep things going behind the scenes. Thanks to our deputy clerk, Marlena McCrae, our timekeeper, who ensures that I don't become too long-winded. The entire township is grateful for that. Thanks to Cheryl Russomano and to her entire team in the clerk's office. In a town of this size and complexity, there's a lot of paperwork that flows through that office. Anytime I've asked for a document, Cheryl's team has responded quickly and cheerfully, and I appreciate that. And I'd like to thank Councilman John Pointer for handling the challenges of council president for a year with unfailing politeness. And anytime I had a question about anything on the agenda, Councilman Pointer would get back to me with a very quick and incredibly thorough response. So thank you for your diligence as presiding officer. And to Councilman Patel, congratulations on your election as president. Having served on this council for a couple of years, you've seen what you're in for, so thank you for notwithstanding that, taking on the enormous responsibility, and thank you, Councilwoman Harris, for serving again as the vice president of our wonderful council. I'd like to share a public perspective on what the public would see to be the role of the council. The way our government is set up, the council is not the property of the mayor or of any political party organization. It belongs to the people, and it's the voice of the people. We have a very diverse population in Edison with a lot of different opinions, and that should be reflected, and I think is reflected, in the membership of the council. The council under our form of government is not supposed to be a rubber stamp of the mayor. It's not supposed to thwart the mayor's vision, but it should really hone that vision and perfect that vision. And if there's something that can be improved, it's really the role of the council to assert those ideas that might improve anything coming from the administration. I've noticed on the agenda is composed of resolutions and ordinances that are proposed by various components of the administration, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Ordinances, resolutions can also come up from the council to the extent that it reflects the needs and wishes of the population. And the council has various tools. Rather than simply accepting what's presented to it, you have the power to propose amendments. You have the power, if you need more information, if there are questions, you have the power to table a resolution. And I'd like to see the council exercise all of the tools at its disposal to really effectuate the will of the people that elected you. In terms of priorities for 2024, it's important that the council enacts very quickly updated definitions for warehouses, for distribution centers, and fulfillment centers. It's important that the council prioritize an ordinance regulating the digital billboards. As the technology has changed and evolved, our ordinances have to also change and evolve to meet that. Otherwise, residents are going to end up with development that's detrimental to them. And it's in the hands of this council to make sure that the tools are there for the public's property values, safety, and quality of life to be protected. Another priority should be to have a budget early in the year. Last year, we didn't have a budget until after almost all of the money was spent. But if the council is going to be a responsible steward for the public's money, you have to have a plan for spending the money. So it would be beneficial for both the council and for the public to see what the spending plan is for the year closer to the beginning of the year. I know an excuse was given last year that, well, you don't necessarily know until the end of the year how much aid might be forthcoming from the state, but that shouldn't be an impediment to coming up with a budget with the information that you have available to you. And I also noticed over the course of the year that at almost every meeting there'd be a request for vehicle purchases, so it would be helpful for the public to see this and for the council to see this, to have a complete inventory of township-owned vehicles so that going forward you can have a plan for purchases and for spending. So those are the tools that I think the council should insist on having at its disposal, and I'm looking forward to a productive year. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel.
Council President?
I didn't notice any questions. Any questions that you wanted to answer?
Yeah, well,
Okay, Councilman Brescher, are you
I will
going to
tell
do
you
what
that
he suggested?
Joel always leaves it open for questions. I'd like to tell him, though, when it comes to spending, well, this council approved a bunch of spending that most of the public knows that there was a lot of it I disagree with. I thought it was overspending. But this council passed it anyway. But what has happened, and what he said was, that we're supposed to do this for the administration. The administration actually has listened. So while the votes didn't happen on the council and we pushed through overspending, what the administration has done now is they've recognized that, like on our construction projects, instead of us paying 10% for a design fee and then 10% to oversee it, they went out and they got some bids, and the bids are coming back 3 or 4%. So overall, moving forward, they should be able to save that 6% on most of our construction projects. So I commend the administration for, taking those steps. And, even though it was passing, right, they did listen to what I said, and they looked into it. And I think they're doing a fine job with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brescher. And Joel, we do have a complete list of the vehicles that was provided to us, and I do use it. I would like it in Excel format, which I think they're going to give it to me soon. Moving forward.
Okay, Council President.
Yes.
Just in respect to the questions that came forward here, I don't need an answer now, but if Mr. Bassoff can report to the clerk, when he speaks of the will of the people, when he speaks representing the public, when he discusses the disappointment in timing of the budget, could he please provide members of the public who are part of his statements? Because I don't believe he speaks for the public. I believe he speaks for himself or a few others. And to say this council is not properly spending appropriately is just completely wrong. I've sat on this dais for 8 years. We've passed the budget in the same timeline for the last, 9 years, and the mayor before that, and the mayor before that. So it's transparent on how we spend money, and it's crystal clear. You provide that document every time. The problem I have is when you stand up here in front of the dais, you speak for the public. You're not speaking for the public, you're speaking for yourself, and that you can provide me with names of an organization that you represent. So when you speak of the will of the people, it's your will of the people. You stated everybody has different opinions, but you contradicted yourself to say that it's the will of the people and you speak for the public. So I'm just confused, and I think we're doing a great job. We've sat with you multiple times. We've listened to you. You have an agenda that you'd like to move forward. That's fantastic. But to say this council is not engaged in ordinances or resolutions is false. Many people in this council come up with ordinances, resolutions, and they're put together between the legal department and presented through the mayor's office. Just because a council member does not present that ordinance or resolutions, everything documented and voted on is this council's. We own that document. So I just disagree with your statements, and I think this council and this mayor does a great job from what's been done over the last 20 years, we have had remarkable difference between now and 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and 5 years ago. Just my statement. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Coyle, moving on to, actually, Councilman Pointer, can you ask, Maria Orchard asked for an update on the deer study for the deer committee. Do we have an update?
Not at the moment. I'm still coordinating the next meeting with the holiday, trying to push things back.
Okay. Moving on to the next person, Dhruv Shah.
Good evening. My name is Dhruv Shah, and I'm a resident of North Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm here today as
You're recognized, sorry.
I'm here today as a proud member of the South Asian community in New Jersey and as a child of immigrants to speak about the mayor's recent exclusionary rhetoric about immigration and asylum seekers. Edison is a township in which immigrants make up almost half of the total population, including a number of my own family members. I am very unsettled by Mayor Joshi's rhetoric, attacking the backgrounds of asylum seekers and parroting talking points from the far right in this country, like Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who uses migrants and asylum seekers as political pawns instead of human beings. In high school, I attended a Model UN conference in which Mayor Joshi was the keynote speaker. And I remember being so excited to see someone who looked like me in a position of leadership within government. However, after his recent comments, I'm so disappointed that the mayor is unable to empathize with asylum seekers and migrants who are leaving their homes in search of safety and greater opportunity, just like my parents did. New Jersey, and especially Edison, thrive because of immigrants. And I sincerely hope that Mayor Joshi reevaluates his divisive language that flies in the face of democratic values, New Jersey values, and basic human decency. I call on Mayor Joshi to publicly apologize to all immigrants in New Jersey and make a commitment to support asylum seekers going forward. Now I pose the question to this council of if you will join me in calling for Mayor Joshi to publicly apologize for his comments.
Council President.
I would like to not open this up because I don't think, do we as a council have any say in terms of over this immigration policy? Or can I not open this up, as I believe this will just lead us astray because we have no say over this? Have that option. Okay, so I'm not going to open this up topic for discussion.
I just, as a point of order.
Sorry.
As a point of order, okay, what I'm asking here is, we were always told by every council president we have that if somebody from the public came to ask us a question, right, we could answer those questions. Because the question that this gentleman in front of us is not sitting well with you, right, you would like us not to have the opportunity to speak to him. Now, well, you just asked the attorney, I think it was, if we have any jurisdiction. But if you're going to do that, then every time somebody comes up here to tell us to fill a pothole, since we don't have jurisdiction, we don't have a right. So unless you're going to treat everybody fairly, because that's what this young man is here.
You're way off the track. I understand what you're getting at, and I believe anything that affects Edison residents, I'm there for it. But this is an illegal immigration situation that...
But the mayor broke the law in his statement. The mayor cannot ship anybody back. There's a law that our chief is bound by for the Attorney General's office that says that you can't
I would like to close this discussion. Thank you. So we are going to move on to the next.
We can't answer questions.
Do you have any other questions that will impact something that the council can do for you? I'm sorry.
You see where the council stands.
I would just like to know, do you agree with him?
I do not agree with the mayor.
Immigrants are not welcome in Edison? Is that the position of this council?
So, as a council president and councilman of Edison residents, my opinion is that immigration should be welcome. Unfortunately, our opinions here do not overall make an impact in terms of what the federal government does. This is going to be essentially a grandstanding of opinions, and it's not necessarily going to help one way or the other to this discussion. What I would recommend is, if you really want to do something for the immigration, write to the federal government. Ask them to do something, because it is in their authority that they can do something. I understand coming here, you can bring this to public attention, but I am pretty sure everyone is aware of this in public attention. I just don't think this is the body to discuss this issue, and that is why I don't want to continue this discussion. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, thank you.
His point was the mayor said it, wasn't the federal government.
Moving on to Aaron Burstein.
Good evening. My name is Aaron Bierstein. I live at 428 Ridge Road.
You are recognized.
I am here today representing the Central New Jersey chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America. We condemn the racist and xenophobic rhetoric of Mayor Joshi against immigrants and demand that the mayor apologize to the immigrant communities of this state. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Martina Manicastri.
Good evening, Council. My name is Martina Manicastri. I live at 2 Regent.
You are recognized.
Thank you. As we're all aware, this community has received national attention in the past few days for Mayor Joshi's xenophobic statements regarding buses of immigrants and asylum seekers who entered the country at the Texas border. As a longstanding community member and immigrant myself, I, alongside other groups present here tonight, am calling on Mayor Joshi to apologize to the immigrant community in Edison and across the state. His original response characterized migrants as illegal, and he claimed he wouldn't let Edison be subject to the consequences of illegal immigration. And so I ask, what are the consequences of migration in this community? Last I checked, the community has only ever benefited from having an immigrant population, regardless of legal status. Our kids grow up with a deeper understanding of the world and of cultural diversity. Our neighborhoods are safe. They're full of people from different countries who speak different languages, practice different faiths, who look out for one another, celebrate together, and are in community together and participate in democracy together as we are now. Mayor Joshi has no right, being the sole arbiter of who gets to be part of our community. And despite his emphasis on legality, he clearly has no concept of the law, because if he did, he'd know that anyone seeking asylum can do so from within our nation's borders. Our state's Division on Civil Rights makes clear that all immigrants, regardless of status, are welcome in our state. It is an absolute hypocrisy for Democrats to be critical of Governor Abbott's decision to ship migrants out of Texas when they seem to turn around and ship those same people back out of the tri-state area. I don't expect much from Democrats lately, but at the minimum, I expect them not to parrot the same conservative talking points and policies they claim to run against. Lastly, while Mayor Joshi took great pains in his latest statement to tell us about his family's legal path to gaining entry, I'll remind him that there are many ways to gain legal entry into this country, that our community is comprised of immigrants with all kinds of varying legal statuses and journeys, and that undocumented immigrants are a vibrant, integral part of this community and this state. Hyper-focus on legality and the racialized criminalization of immigrants, especially Latino immigrants, is a narrative that me and many others in this community are disinterested in, and it isn't the narrative you'd expect to hear from the proud son of immigrants. Whether someone is seeking asylum on a student visa or is in this country as an undocumented person, they belong in this state, and there are many people in Edison, many people who voted for Mayor Joshi, who feel they belong in this community. We demand an apology to immigrants here and across the state. The immigrants of this community will remember the Joshi's administration's xenophobia the next time we head to the ballot box, and we ask that this council express its dissent with the mayor's comments. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. That one was. I can't read the next writing. Catherine, a date.
Yeah, the name is Catalina, and it's 1040 Bond Street.
You're recognized.
Thank you. This is actually a letter that was written on behalf of various organizations that fight for immigrant rights here in the state of New Jersey, and it is a letter addressed to the mayor. Dear Mayor, we are a group of faith-based and secular organizations from throughout New Jersey which focus on supporting the rights and the dignity of immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. There are few things more discouraging to us than watching people who have been on the receiving end of the welcoming communities we have established in New Jersey turn around and try to nail the door shut for newly arrived people. You are quick to profess your identity as a son of immigrants and proud to proclaim that Edison is 45% immigrant. Yet this past week, you have engaged in a public fear-mongering campaign in the media about a mere 2 busloads of people who simply passed through your city a few days ago. There was never any intention for Edison to be their final destination, yet you began to falsely raise the alarm and stoke fear. Sadly, your demonization of these people who are already pawns of the political gameship of the Texas governor is making the people in your own community less safe. Do you really think that the xenophobic sentiment that you are helping to whip up will only be unleashed against the people on the buses from Texas? You are helping to paint a target on your community too. Sadly, Edison is not suffering from a lack of resources. It is suffering from a lack of empathy and compassion, and its leadership is also suffering from a lack of imagination. The mayor of the city of Erie in Pennsylvania was just an NPR asking for Governor Abbott to send buses to his city. He understands the contribution that new people bring to a community. He is eager to welcome people whose varying life experiences, perspectives, and skills will bring energy and dynamism to his city. If you would like a more local example, you need to look no further than Highland Park, which has been resettling and welcoming refugees, migrants, and asylum seekers for many years. For the good of your community and all the communities in New Jersey, you need to stop spreading fear and stoking hate, and you need to apologize. The people on the buses that you are so afraid of are very much like your parents. They are human beings looking for a better life for themselves and their children. If you can remove the fear from your heart, you might just be able to recognize a bit of yourself in them. Maybe one of the children on those buses will also grow up to be mayor of a city or a town that finally welcomes them. And these organizations that are signing on to this letter are Wind of the Spirit, Immigrant Resource Center, Casa Freehold, First Friends of New Jersey and New York, Northern New Jersey Sanctuary Coalition, Pax Christi New Jersey, Unidad Latina en Acción New Jersey, and the Mami Chalon Foundation.
Thank you for your comments. The next person on the list, Lee Andrew. It might be Lee. It might be. Okay.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Lee Adorno. It's one person. I think the Andre is the next person.
Okay.
So yeah, so similarly to what has been shared, right?
Your address, please.
Sorry?
Your address?
Oh, 1040 Bond.
Okay.
Yes, so similarly to what has been shared already, I am also a son of immigrants, and honestly, it's very infuriating to hear the mayor from this city say very xenophobic and anti-immigrant rhetoric that he himself does not know what he's talking about, quite frankly. He's saying that these people are illegal, which is not true. These people are asylum seekers, and under international law, they are doing everything the right way, and every person has the right to claim asylum in the US as of today and currently. It is also very disappointing to hear you, sir, speak the way that you do without making any commitments to better or to fix or retract any of the words that he has said. It's very interesting, actually, to see how more and more Democrats that are here in New Jersey, especially here in Edison, shy away and fall into weak leadership here in the state and in the city. I am curious as to why he has chosen to say these words that have a deep effect in the community, that on the way people are treated, especially migrants who may not speak English, migrants who have already made a long journey to be here, and to be attacked verbally by a mayor that's supposed to be democratic and progressive, which obviously that is not the case. I'm also curious as to how much money he has allocated or is going to allocate for this set bus to bring migrants back to the Texas border. Do you have those numbers, or does anyone in this room have those numbers?
Sonia, do we have numbers? No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, if you want to leave, is that something we can provide?
And then furtherly, why isn't this money that's being allocated for these buses, why isn't that being used to help the migrants who are supposed to be helped? Like, they're in a vulnerable position. Why aren't they being helped? Why is this money being used so ineffectively? Why is he blowing people's tax dollars on a potential bus to do the same thing that Governor Abbott is doing?
I cannot answer that for you, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but thank you.
Okay, and then what I seek from this group is I would like to see a little bit of more strong leadership, a little bit more embracement towards the immigrant community, because quite frankly, it's very disappointing to see, especially from you, sir.
I'm sorry I have disappointed you. I am an immigrant, and I...
Very good.
Unfortunately, this board does not have any authority to the problems that you're trying to solve. And I would love to solve those problems for you. I wish I had the authority to solve immigration for you. But unfortunately, I don't. What I can offer you is a platform to voice your opinion, which I have, and I will listen to you, and that is fine. I just don't want to use this board.
Point of order.
True.
We're not supposed to be having back and
Back
forth
and forth.
conversation
You're right.
once the
I'm sorry
speaker's not
about that. All
recognized.
right. Moving forward to Andre Berger.
It's Andre Berger, also 1040 Bond Street.
You're recognized.
Thank you. You were just saying that the board doesn't have the ability to fix the immigration system. But I wonder if the board feels that it is its responsibility, if the council feels that it is its responsibility when the mayor of this town is making xenophobic, despicable remarks that makes, frankly, Edison a laughingstock to the whole of New Jersey, to the whole of the United States, when the mayor is threatening the immigrant community, is threatening people, is threatening to send people who are seeking asylum back to the Texas-Mexico border, seemingly illegally, if that is not a matter of concern for the council. And I wonder if when the mayor is threatening to do these things, if you do feel that the council has some sort of responsibility to condemn his remarks and to, in some way, try to ensure that the money of the taxpayers of Edison is not spent on forcing asylum seekers back into a dangerous situation. So I wonder if any of that is of concern to the council.
Council President, may I, he did ask a question. May I respond?
Not on this particular topic, as, again, I have stated that it's...
So, Council President, so you're going to decide from now on, when questions are raised by the public, it's going to be your prerogative only, and you're going to decide on any matter. So if it's a controversial matter, right, and it's something that you don't feel comfortable in dealing with, so I'm going to just say that if you can't handle it, you can't do it one way or another,
let's do
let
this.
your seat go to someone that can handle it.
Let's do this. How
Thank
about
you,
this?
Council
Once we're
President.
done with all the questions about immigration, if the council feels that they want to make a statement, I will open it up to the council to make a statement and to say whatever they feel is justified. Fine?
Thank you.
All right. All right. Any other comments?
Good evening. My name's Cara Morillo. I'm a resident of Union, New Jersey.
You're recognized.
Thank you. I'm here as a concerned resident of New Jersey, and I'm also the granddaughter of Spanish immigrants. And I have a lot of experience being in your great town of Edison, as my aunt and cousins live here. So I have been visiting here since I was a baby. So I am here to say that I recently relocated back to New Jersey, my home state, from Washington, D.C., where for the past year and a half, we received buses sent to our beautiful city by Governor Abbott of Texas. He bused thousands of migrants in order to prove his political agenda that the president and mayors of progressive cities would reject asylum seekers if they arrived. And I was disappointed to hear Mayor Joshi's comments the other day, proving him right. For the past year, I served as a volunteer on the ground, welcoming newcomers to the city of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. The majority of the people I met loved their homelands, but were forced to move due to extreme political and socioeconomic circumstances. When I greeted people coming off the buses in Washington, many were aware they were heading to a new city, but then experienced shock and disappointment when they realized they were being used as political pawns. Our new neighbors have dreams of a better life, like many of our migrant ancestors did. The majority of newcomers have traveled primarily on foot, through harsh terrain, facing gang violence and animal predators and other natural predators as they travel through the Darien Gap in Panama, as well as encountering cartels and inhumane treatment in detention sites as they travel north. For many, their arrival in the United States serves as the victory of their sacrifices. There are many who do not survive, including infants and children. In the past year, I have had the honor and the privilege to welcome hundreds of our new neighbors, accompanying them to dental and medical appointments, prenatal doctor appointments, and other critical appointments as well, such as going to the pharmacy for the first time in a new country. Many immediately needed new prescriptions as their medications are often confiscated by Border Patrol, putting their health at high risk when they arrive, usually on these buses. Many are in need of emergency care and language interpretation to make sure that their health needs are being properly assessed. Indeed, the most memorable moments of my past year was holding 3 newborn babies who survived the journeys in their mother's womb, which I considered a miracle. I've developed relationships with many of our new neighbors coming on buses, and I saw them on their worst day, but I also saw them flourish in their new city. We text each other happy birthday, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. We've become friends, and I've had the exquisite privilege to watch them enter a new stage of life where both they and their children seek new opportunities safe from harm. They have enriched my life and our community in more ways than they can know. So imagine my disappointment when I heard that Mayor Joshi stated publicly that he is against sanctuary cities. Edison, like many towns in New Jersey, has always been a town where immigrants have arrived and thrived. Seeking asylum and sanctuary is not a decision to be given for political gain, but a right. It is a human right. I am imploring the council to formalize a new arrival system so they can continue, and I will tell you right now, it will continue because it is manipulation on Governor Abbott's part, okay? We have seen it in Washington, D.C. I am here now. I love this state, and I want to see better. I want to see better because it likely will. So instead of threatening to send immigrants back after their arduous journey, what I am asking as a citizen is that instead that money, if it's actually there, be given for respite centers, that migrants coming on buses to this city be given warm food and clothes, that they be given advocates, that they given resources in appropriate languages, because that is language justice, and that if they choose to move on to a different city, whether that's New York or another place in the United States, that they should not have to face the very same conditions from which they are fleeing. Okay, whereas our politicians, and I have seen this in our nation's capital, have not welcomed our neighbors. The people always welcome our new neighbors, okay? Thank you. I will be done. And I'm asking that this council to be on the right side of history and to welcome our new neighbors into your city, whether that is briefly or permanently. And I'm asking you to prove Governor Abbott wrong by taking proper actions to keep migrants safe. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening. John Chu, 219 West Shirley Avenue, Edison, New Jersey.
You're recognized.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm here to support these activists, these advocates for the immigrants. I just want to read something that Steve Phillip posted just yesterday in response to what's happening here. Steve, he's mayor of New Jersey City. My family came to the United States for safety after the Holocaust, when nearly every person in my family was murdered. Importantly, most of these people are coming here because they are also desperate for safety, food, and life. We must be smart in how we approach this and have a statewide solution, but also we must be compassionate first here and help where we can. Our values in Jersey City and New Jersey have never been about turning our back to the people in need. We shouldn't start now because the political soundbite is easy. So I think it's important that it is it is wise politically, I think, to support the immigrants that are here legally. We need to recognize that. There's always a lot of misinformation going on. I saw in the mayor's post that a lot of people agreed with him, but they're not. It doesn't seem like they fully understand what's happening. Some of them denied that they were asylum seekers. So that type of misinformation is just dangerous for folks. We do need to educate our fellow residents here on why we need to be a welcoming community. Edison, I'm not sure if Edison has the resources, but we do need to link people with the state and federal resources that are available. That's not my expertise, but that's something that that perhaps we could do as Edison. It is true that Highland Park, they do bring in these refugees, and they have to have a plan. They figure it out how they can do that. So it is possible. But the truth is, sometimes it's not even. To me, it just doesn't seem like it's. Sometimes it's not our business to speculate on what these people are, like what their health condition is. I think that's dangerous too. Like immigrants have been characterized like being unhealthy and like carrying disease, and like we don't want to spread that type of xenophobia again. Like that's been something in the past in our history, something we learned in our history books, that America had try to spread that misinformation. But yeah, we just certainly we can do better. The way we say things can be better. Being truthful about the situation. There is a lot of political instability abroad. I'm not sure what these immigrants were. I know, like in Venezuela, there's a lot of destabilization going on there. I read that 41% of the migration was from there since from June of last year. So there is we don't know what their circumstances is. So even if it's not that's not the case, I don't think it's necessarily our business to speculate. Where they came from, or like why they're here, or like whether they have diseases. That just sets a bad precedent, I think, in how we treat people and how people in the public may start, treating folks. So it's important, like what our leaders say, our officials say. So I think that's all. I wasn't really prepared for discussion tonight, but I think this is an important issue that we should address. If it's not here, perhaps we can address that offline, but it's something that we certainly should have a conversation about, I think. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Hi. Joe Friedman, 41 Comstock Street.
You're recognized.
So I'm actually a student at Rutgers University, and although this may not seem directly related, I do believe that the xenophobia that we are seeing directly impacts students at Rutgers as well. Seeing as there are tons and tons of refugees and just people on visas who go to my school, and seeing the segregation that has happened this last semester as a result of a lack of conversation, a lack of integration between peoples, is extremely concerning to me. And to me, it looks very systematic. It would mean a lot to me if this council were to recognize some of the concerns that people here are saying, because it's important. And until we as a community can come together and say, hey, let's treat people like people, we're going to continue to see these divisions, we're going to continue to see this segregation, and we're going to continue to see violence. So I'm going to ask that that be something that is recognized. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Council President Anthony D. Ameren, Edison, New Jersey.
You recognize Anthony.
Thank you. First off, I'll just say this. You could disagree with the mayor all you want. That's fine. That's fair game. And that, in my opinion, deserves a healthy debate and conversation about the issues. That's what this country is about. Not to, whether you feel a certain way or somebody feels a certain way, have a healthy discussion. And that's where I would go with that. I'm not into the name calling, but I think I do disagree though on something, because I find it very hard to believe that it is not within this council's jurisdiction to address the fact that there are people, many reports, people sleeping out in town, in certain parts of town, camping out. We don't know if there's children there, if they're, their well-being. Doesn't that deserve a conversation? And I don't know what else there is. They're in our backyard. We deserve to know as the taxpayer. And I also go on to say this. The people of Edison deserve a little more respect, I think, just in terms of this, because we fund it all, okay? The people of Edison are very, very tolerant people, resolute. The amount of charities that are in this town are endless. Not to mention, we have a school board budget of about $325 million a year. We have a $200 million township budget. You don't see people coming in here right now demanding people to leave. You don't see that flood. So we are tolerant people, and I think the people of Edison who flipped the bill for this deserve a little more respect. And it is their compassion, in my opinion, that we're able to have this type of discussion back and forth right now. And I wanted to say that for the record. I will also say, as far as, and congratulations to everybody tonight, but, I have to say, with all due respect, Council President, I'm a bit weary of you being Council President. I find your time here so far on the council to be extremely partisan with the administration. I can't remember, as I look back and try to think, where you've taken the opposition side of the administration. And it seems to me over the last 2 years, it has been more of the mayor's second term as a council member more than anything else. And I hope that this time around, over the next year specifically, that we all think for ourselves here and we don't push an agenda. You could agree with the administration, that's fine. But to go lock, step, and key with the administration on every single thing and things that you may not, like the back and forth conversation, it's your first day as council president, so I can only imagine the nerves and everything else. So I understand that, but the councilman's right though. We need, especially when we're paying for it and they're in our backyard, things that are going on here, we deserve a healthy discussion and conversation. All right, I might agree or disagree with these people. Okay, it's not the point. We deserve a back and forth though, because when you have reports of people that are sleeping outside, starting campfires, that concerns me. It concerns me for many reasons, especially if there's children involved. It's just as a simple duty, a human being. It's important to find out what the hell's going on. All right, I'm not going to get into the politics. Who sent them here? That's not. They're here, so we got to deal with it. And some of these speakers are right. There needs to be leadership. We need better leadership from this. All right. So, and again, I'm not into the name calling, but I'm more about having a healthy conversation back and forth and debating it that way. And, let the pieces fall where they may. That's all I really have for today, Council President, I believe. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments, Anthony. Anyone else?
Council President, just for record,
Is it for the immigration issue?
it's just for any campfires. Would Ms. Dearman report to the clerk of any fires?
We will talk about it.
The addresses.
Hi, Catalina. I read a letter before, but
you already spoke once, right?
I read a letter, but now I'm going to speak on my own behalf.
unfortunately-
Should be like 2 minutes. I just want to make
No,
sure
sorry,
that.
I'm sorry. Your point. Just one sec. Let me explain. There is a rules in process where I have to follow for one. I have to follow for all. So if I let you speak a second time, I have to let everyone speak for a
That's
second time.
amazing. Great. More people can speak. Okay,
But
so
unfortunately, we are here to conduct council business, so I will not be able
totally
to.
understand. I just want to make sure that it's clear that what we're
No, I'm
asking
sorry.
for
I
here,
would-
it's an apology from the mayor
Order. Please, point
because
of
of his
order.
remarks.
Please
And
sit
just
down.
wanted to clarify. Just wanted to clarify. Something that the mayor can do doesn't need authorization from the federal government and easily issue an apology.
Okay. Anyone else? First time comments?
Hi, Harish Thatineni, 45 McKinley Street.
You recognize Satish.
So I'm here to request a couple of updates. Around 3 months back, I had proposed the possibility of bringing an ordinance about the sidewalks being made mandatory at the time of resale of the existing old house. The grandfathered houses which don't have sidewalks. I know we had a good discussion with Councilman Richard and Councilman Patel, and I thought the administration attorney and the council attorney were going to check to see if it is legally possible or there are any roadblocks. So,
Anything else?
Another thing was about the pedestrian crossing flashing lights at the
Can you speak
intersection.
closer to the mic, please?
So the second thing was about the update on pedestrian crossing flashing lights at the intersection of Boulevard of Eagles and Old Post Road. I know, John, you said you will look into it a couple of months back. So I understand that government projects take an incredibly long time, but just regular updates would be helpful. I mean, the sidewalks thing, if it can be done, well and good. If it cannot be done for whatever reason, if the money has already been taken from the homeowner some 5-6 decades back and it was deposited with the township, like I hear from some people, obviously then it cannot be done, but I'm not in a position to check that. I mean, the township and the council is in a position to check that. So if that can be taken up and looked into, maybe we'll try to see. If that cannot be done, it cannot be done. We'll come up with something else, some other idea. We'll try to think out of the box. And regarding the pedestrian crossing, what stage is it exactly in? I know, again, to get a traffic signal or pedestrian crossing,
I can answer both of them. Do you have any other questions?
No,
Okay.
those are the only two.
All right, so I can do the pedestrian crossing, and then I'll leave the legal to help me out with the second one. The pedestrian crossing, the process, essentially, we asked the administration to get the flashing lights, and we started this process back in September. They started the process of acquiring it, going through the motion, and I think they found solar crossing walks, and they're gonna order them, and once we have them, I believe we have some, Sonia, do we have those solar crossing walks already, or are we going to be ordering them?
I believe they are ordered, and we are working on our second bond ordinance, which would have some of those additional items in there.
Okay, so we are working through it, and I believe that will be one of the destinations that those crossing lights will go to. Now, in terms, I know you talked to me about this ordinance, and I think it's a good idea. I proposed it, I'm never going to answer back. The idea is essentially when a resident sells the house before they sell, before the closing, they would have to build, if there's a sidewalk issue, they would have to build that sidewalk there, and they would have to fund it. Would that be something we can do?
If I understand correctly, you're essentially talking as a condition of getting a certificate of occupancy for the house upon the sale. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm happy to look into that, though. I know that there is some difficulty in requiring those kinds of updates through the code, absent certain special circumstances. I don't know whether or not the sale of the house qualifies, since this is the first time I'm hearing the question, but I will look into that. I'll have an answer for you by next week. That's easy enough.
What about if they paid for the sidewalk fund? Can we use that sidewalk fund if that house? I'm not sure if that's something possible.
I'm not certain about the specifics of the sidewalk fund.
Council
It's
President?
come completely out of left field for me tonight, but easy enough for me to get the answer for you, though.
Thank you.
Council President, yes, I spoke to Lou Renone about this issue because it seems that the township owns the road, the resident owns the curb and the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how it's in Edison, I was told. But like years ago, my parents were assessed additional money on their taxes that went to pay to put the sidewalks and the curbs in, because they were here before you had sidewalks and curbs. So in talking to Lou, we could also do something where we could possibly, we would fund it, it would be added to their taxes over whatever, a 5-year period or a 10-year period, so they don't have to pay $3,000 up in front. It might be an extra $100 or something. But he was going to look into that, for us.
Yeah, I know that there are methods by which you can do that, which fund it indirectly, but I need to look into the specifics for you to see what would actually work here with how you have set up the sidewalk fund.
And that's
how your
only
ordinances
because
treat the sidewalks.
Right, that's only because the curbs, I'm told, the resident owns. And that came up because we're repaving the roads, right? And they look great, and then you go and you look at the curb, and there is no curb, or it's all broken. So you kind of look like you're painting up like the ghetto or something. You know what I mean? It just still looks like the ghetto.
Yeah, it's an interesting patchwork of laws throughout the different municipalities on how it's handled. So it just needs to be looked at, and like I said, I can have that answer for you.
Okay. Can we have that answer for the next meeting, for the combined meeting? And just give us a couple of options that would work. Thank you. Thank you.
That would be great. Just
I think your time is up, so I'm sorry.
it's just an idea, like special circumstances.
We can talk
maybe
offline.
School can be.
We can talk offline. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? First time speaker?
Good evening. My name is Moshe Stern, 11 Price Drive, Edison.
You're recognized, Walter.
Has the township ever considered putting a left turning signal, or is this the right forum for that, at the corner of Central Avenue and Plainfield in front of the train station? In the mornings, traffic is impossible because everyone's trying to make a left turn off Central onto Plainfield, and there's buses there trying to make the left turn, and we got traffic coming from going towards the west on Central. I believe there's police officers in the morning there trying to catch people making U-turns on the other side of Central Avenue illegally because those people don't want to wait in the left turning lane to make the left turn.
Any other questions, Walter?
No.
Walter, I don't know, Sonia, do you have the answer to this right away? Okay, so if you don't mind, if you can leave the contact information with Marlena, we can get back to you.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Anyone else, first-time speaker?
Good evening, Maria Lopez, 94 7th Street, Edison, Clara Barton section.
You are recognized, Maria.
Thank you.
Can you please speak closer to the mic if you don't mind?
Sure. I have been living in my residence now for 23 years, and I try to maintain my home and keep it nice, et cetera, et cetera. I have a new neighbor that moved in about a year and a half ago, and I'm on the cul-de-sac at J Street as you come up 7th. I contacted Pat Coyle on about November 14th to let him know that there was a boat parked on the side of the house, and the neighbor told me he was going to put the boat there, but it's a very large boat, 21 feet plus the trailer, and it's about 2 inches from my fence, and it's not covered. Whether it's covered or not, I don't believe it should be there. I just put a new railing, I put a new retaining wall, and I spent a lot of money to enjoy my backyard, and I am very, very disappointed that I'm paying taxes to look at this. I have photos, I've brought photos. Pat Coyle came out, he was very kind, very nice. He said, we're gonna get a sticker on it, he's gonna move it, he's gonna move it. And he spoke to the fella several times, the neighbor. He asked, he just doesn't want to go spend the dry dock money, I guess, to dry dock it. So then he said, well, he contacted Jim Ayotte, I believe, and he said Jim is going to take care of it. Well, Jim hasn't taken care of it. It's now the end of December. Jim told me, I said, what is the ordinance? And I feel like there's not an ordinance or a code. I'm not familiar with these things, so I don't know what it is. It's some sort of bulk. I had called I asked him for the number so I could read it. And from what I understand, it's something saying about bulk, something bulk item. It doesn't say boat, it doesn't say maybe a recreational vehicle, or I'm not sure what the number is or what it's called. I called the clerk's office today because I bother her, Mervena or someone, I think that's her name. At any rate, I spoke with Jim and I spoke with Pat together in their office just before Christmas. Jim said he would take care of it. Apparently there is a 3-foot clearance. I don't know, but I don't like it. I have photos if you would like to give them to you, but I feel I pay good taxes and I take care of my home, and it should be removed. If I wanted to live in a marina, I would live at a marina.
I think that's a fair ask.
And so I left Jim. So Jim said it's the holiday. It was the week of Christmas. I said, okay, Jim, I'll wait to hear from you after Christmas. So the 2nd, I called him when they came back Wednesday. I called him and left him a message, and I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
So I'd like a response or something,
Sonia, can you please? Okay. So Maria, they'll follow up with you tomorrow. I'm sorry if we don't have an instant.
No, I understand. I just felt like, I just saw Pat, and I felt like, and he's like, well, I can't do anything. Jim has to do something about it. So I would appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Any other first-time speaker? Okay, do we have a rebuttal? Okay, no rebuttal. Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close public portion.
Seconded. Roll call, Cheryl? Oh, okay, all right. And now I know this is an important topic, so I will leave it to whoever wants to speak on the immigration issue.
Yes, Council President, thank you.
Councilwoman, Council Vice President.
It's okay. First of all, I want to thank all of you who came out to articulate with such passion your concerns about this whole immigration situation. And I hear them, and I am moved by what you all had to say. I think about at the turn of the last century that my grandparents came from Russia, all four of them came from Russia to escape the persecution of the pogroms, the Russian pogroms. And they came via steerage, which was the lowest class on the steamships. And they were not welcome. I know the Jewish immigrants, Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants were not welcome. They were seen as other. And here we are all these years later, and immigrants are still seen as other. And it pains me to see that that is still the situation. I am disappointed in the mayor's rhetoric about this. I think assumptions are being made about these people who are aspiring to escape their persecution. I think assumptions are being made about what diseases they may or may not be carrying, what weapons they may or may not be carrying. And I think this deserves some kind of follow-up. I understand, by the way, the mayor is going to be on CNN tomorrow early, so I don't know when, but he had indicated he's going to be on CNN. But I'm wondering, given the concerns that have been brought up, I wonder if it might be worthwhile to consider forming some kind of subcommittee about this particular situation, about what's happened in terms of people at Papiani or at the boat basins or whatever. And I'm just going to throw out there, I wonder if it might make some sense to form a subcommittee about this very important topic. So I'm going to leave that for open discussion. But I want to thank you again for your passion and your interest, and it is being taken very seriously. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman A.J. Patil.
Thank you, Council President. And thank you everyone for coming here, voicing your concerns. I myself is an immigrant, first generation immigrant. What you see in the public, I face this day to day. So it's not new. And I'm really disappointed, mayor who happens to be the son of immigrant. I don't think he really understands what the immigration means. I don't think. Otherwise, he would not have given any statement in media. He could have stayed out. Edison is more than 50% immigrants. They are the backbone of this town. I'm shocked that mayor would go to the extent flip-flopping his statements, not once, not twice. He has enough time to go out in media and make the statements which doesn't make sense. So if you don't understand the immigration, please stay out of it. You yourself is a son of immigrant. So with that, I would say, again, I wholeheartedly, I'm with you. I understand your sentiments. As I said, I am the first generation immigrant. Anything who is in America, it's a dreamland. They deserve the respect. They deserve the treatment, at least on the basis of humanity. And let's keep the politics out of it. Let's respect each other's sentiment. Thank you, Council President.
A.J. Patil.
Council President.
Councilman Brush.
Yes, it was enlightening to see. Actually, you guys all caught me off guard. I didn't see you there with the posters until I looked up at that moment, and then see, it took me off guard there. But you know, I'd like to say I disagree with the mayor. But you have to understand, our mayor is very young. Okay, I think he's somewhere like early 30s, you know, maybe 30 years old. And I know that's not an excuse, right? But as a councilman, he caused the same controversy with, I believe it was the Jewish community down in Lakewood, okay? And Then when he got spoken to, I guess, by his family members, right, and they told him he was wrong, he did apologize. So I'm sure after seeing this meeting, and seeing this and seeing how he's being portrayed as basically like Governor Abbott, it looks like he's running for governor down in Texas or something. But, just with that as it said, I'm sure that he will realize his mistakes. I do not believe in his heart that his apology is genuine. That's just my personal opinion, because when you come out and you make those statements at the beginning, those are the statements that come from your heart, okay? When you pull that back and you walk it back is a political term, and that's just to say, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm losing voters. So because of that, I think he'll walk it back for you, and I think you should push this, and ask him for this. But I don't believe that people on this council, we all do happen to be Democrats. I'd say at least some of us here do feel for you, and we are empathetic. Most of us up here have had immigrants. I have friends that are trying to become citizens right now. So I do understand. My grandparents immigrated here. And while that is not me, and I didn't get to experience that, the stories that I heard from them, they weren't heartwarming when they came. But through the perseverance, their family has succeeded. So, I'm going to wish everybody here luck in your journey. And I hope that some way, there is a way that we can help you. But keep up what you're doing. Hold our mayor accountable for his words. And I'm sure that I think he'll, political terms, walk it back the next chance he gets. So maybe if he's on CNN tomorrow, he'll walk that back for you. But just know that the council here, a lot of these council people up here definitely feel for you. A lot of us here either are immigrants, or our parents were immigrants, or our grandparents were immigrants. I don't know that anybody up here has been here since like the 1700s anyway. But thank you for all your comments, and thank you for coming here tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman Brusher. Anyone else?
Council President.
Councilman Pointer?
I won't make a statement, I'll make a request, because I try not to make statements on topics that I am not fully knowledgeable in, or that maybe I'm a novice in. So my request to the group here is that if you have any specific website resources that I could go to educate myself, I would appreciate that. And if you can give it to our deputy clerk, thank you.
Any other councilman?
Council President, I just want to make a statement.
Okay, Councilman Coyle, you're recognized.
Accepting the oath of office and being a third-term councilman is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
And not that I want to address the last question, but first I want to thank the residents of Edison for voting me into office again. I want to thank the volunteers who've helped out with our campaign. And this is my third term as a council member. I've been here for 8 years. I'm truly proud to be an Edison resident. I've been here for 54 years, raised in the public school system, and I played sports in the school system. In the past, I've also owned a bakery, and I understand what hard work is. And I've met many, many tradespeople throughout this town, and I've gotten to know many blue-collar trades families and professionals, and I truly love Edison. And I've gotten to know many organizations alike through sports and nonprofits and arts societies as well. But what I can say is that when, I'm here as a council member and different people come to the dais, we are here to listen. But the issue I do have is when some people believe that the vision of the administration is to be divided, and as the council should not agree with the administration and the vision. What I've noticed here for decades is that sometimes you get a council and a mayor who disagree. And that may not be functional for the residents of Edison, because if nothing gets done, you have a year of nothing happening for your community, and that's something what you don't want. The divide is not good. So the fact we don't stand here and disagree with the mayor day to day and week to week doesn't mean we don't go behind closed doors and change the policy before it gets to this room here. There are many discussions. We caucus with the mayor to discuss items that are on the agenda that we may agree or disagree with. And we have meetings that are monthly individually with the mayor. Any council member can do that. But I won't stand here and listen to the rhetoric of those who may have challenged us, lost once, lost twice, lost 4 times, and tell me here at the dais that what their agenda is not political. It's political, and it's fine that they have their opinion, and I'm never going to stop them from coming here. But the fact of the matter is, if the residents of Edison want to see progress, it's important that a council votes together so the agenda moves forward. If it doesn't move forward, you may not have that baseball field you wanted. You may never see the Jets field with a beautiful turf field. You may not see improvements to your health center. You may not see improvements to your parks, newly renovated parks. You will not see improvements to the senior center. Things just come to a stop. Now, I'm not saying other council colleagues cannot, disagree with the mayor. That's fine with them. But if you want a town to move forward, you need 4 votes on this council that move with the agenda. You elect a mayor because he has a vision, he has a concentrated effort to create something different, to move this town forward. There are many times I sit here on being the 4th vote or being the 1st vote, and I'm not sure on something, but I do what's right for those who elected me into office here. When you win, it's the majority of the people who voted you there for a reason. This mayor won for the majority who voted me here for a reason. For that purpose, when it comes to the items around this agenda, I support them to deliver results to the township residents. That's what it's about. It's about delivering results. If you want to sit here and divide, that's something you can choose to do. When members come here from the residents who speak at the microphone, that's their opinion. But to make statements that are false, that we are sitting here as puppets for the mayor, is not true. Each one of us read this agenda carefully, and we have meetings separately to debate what's on the agenda before you get a chance to see us argue, because our debates happen, with the mayor separately. So I'm excited to see this town move forward. It's 2 years with their newly elected mayor, and for the issues that have been on our agenda and we've gotten to pass, I am truly proud, being council president in his first term, supporting Councilman Pointer in his second term, and I'm looking forward to supporting Councilmember Nish Patel in his 3rd year of his term. But point I'm making here, I won't stand here and allow the audience to dictate what this council should and shouldn't do. I won't sit here and listen to a member, a resident to tell me they speak for the public. I listen to each one individually here. If you speak for the public, please provide me the list of people you represent. Your opinion, you have it, and you're entitled to it, and I listen clearly. And I do appreciate when you come here. You spend 3 hours to wait to speak to us, and I appreciate you stand here and you sacrifice time away from your family. I care about what you have to say. But, I'm here to move the town forward. I will continue to support the mayor's agenda, and when I disagree, you'll know it. But just because some members of this council do not decide to disagree doesn't mean we don't want good results. Okay, and if you want to sit here and you want to pontificate on a budget, and say that we do not pass it at a certain time, I've watched that for decades too. And it's the same story I get here from members and residents who come here. We don't pass it in time. We're getting better at that. But nothing's changed. Everything's itemized. Everything's transparent. You can see everything we spend from a pencil to toilet paper. It's on there. Everybody gets a copy of it. It's transparent. It's on the agenda, and you can get an email of that item. So I'm excited to bring forward my 3rd term and learning more on how to work with this council and how to work with the mayor. I can't say that would have been who I'd be in my 20s when I wanted to be here, because I wasn't mature enough to be a council member. But today, I'm excited. I think we're doing great things in this town when it comes to children and to sports, senior citizens, public safety. We've done a lot of great things here. We have new fire trucks, new police cars, new trucks for DPW. Take a look around at this entire building here. Look at the renovations that have happened. Look at our IT room that's set up. Look at our Edison TV room. Look at the mayor's office. We've made significant changes to show the public that we want to be not only just transparent, but we have a good workforce of opportunity, and that we have good workflow, and that things happen. So I will continue to stand here, and I will definitely voice my opinion. I'm here for 4 years. I plan to work with everybody, and I thank you for bringing your ideas to our attention. And again, I look forward to this council also seeing some of the same things I see. And what's most important is moving the agenda forward for the residents of Edison and not blocking things and disrupting government. And it's something I want people to understand why things move and why we agree. And it's not to say we won't pull one item and take something off, but it's the mayor's vision. It's someone who elected for a purpose, and we're supporting that purpose to have another 2 strong years and hopefully more in the future. Thank you, Council President, for my remarks as a third-term councilman. If you don't mind, can I just briefly address the people in the audience for 90 seconds? As my colleagues have said, thank you for coming here. It takes courage to stand up in front of this microphone and speak on behalf of what you believe in. I think it's important we could possibly in the future have a committee to discuss, where exactly each person feels here and what you stand for. But, I do have to say, what I didn't hear people say is what process they want to see for immigration. I'm a grandson of immigrants. I believe in immigration, but also there's a lot of open questions that I didn't hear from people or discussions, such as should there be a process? Are we talking about everyone and anyone? I didn't hear from some experienced people what their processes were for screening and helping people to get properly checked up and what are the needs assessment, to come to America. I think it's an awesome opportunity. It's a goal. It's the dream of people to come here and be a resident of the United States. And we all believe in that. But what I didn't hear is anybody say whether, we are concerned with public safety, whether we're concerned with health. So I'm open to have those discussions later and what processes you've experienced and what should be right for, New Jersey to right for Edison. So today, this is a very deep dive. I'm glad the council president did not go into this on back and forth discussion, but I certainly am not being ignorant for those who've come here. And I also heard from people who said they would give up their, residence. So if there are people in this room that are willing to give up a room, I'd like you to report to the clerk and give your address and your phone number, because if there are situations we can and cannot control and someone needs a place to live, I would hope you can provide your name and stand behind the actions you just spoke. And that would be wonderful, because there are going to be a lot of resources needed to take on this cause. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Coyle. Anyone else would like to speak on this topic? No? Okay.
Not on this one, but I'd like to speak on myself getting reelected.
Sure, please do. You are recognized.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the public that voted for me. The public that didn't vote for me, I'd like you to reach out to me and tell me what you're looking for. I believe that we are here and we're here for the entire public. Just to clear up with my council colleague, where he said we all work well with the mayor and everybody, that wouldn't be true. The truth of the matter is, for 2 years, I was asked, what was concerning to me. And I explained that to numerous people in the administration, and they told me they were going to call me. I waited up until about this November to get that call. So it was somewhere almost 2 years before I actually got that call from the administration. And to say that we work together would be a lie, because that's not how we operate here. My council colleague will say working together, and I would like to just say working together means I decide I'd like to go right and you decide you want to go left, and somehow we actually don't go left or right, but we moderate that. And by moderating that and taking everybody's thoughts into consideration is really how you get stuff done. By just doing it your way, and it has to be your way or the highway, that's wrong. And that's the type of government that we actually have here. Now, I've been told by the administration that they're going to change this, and they're going to bring everybody in, and they're going to talk to us and find out what our concerns are. But very simply put, if anybody's seen the bonds that didn't pass here, it was very simple. They lumped them all together, saying we want you to vote for the bad bonds that you don't want, or we're not going to give you the good bonds. I never once said I didn't want a project done here in Edison. But what I complained about was us paying an additional 8% above what other towns in Middlesex County are paying. That was my objection, was paying my taxpayers paying 8% more for it.
Councilman Brusher, I think you're straying far away from the...
I listened to Councilman Coyle, and to be quite honest with you, I think I'm right on cue with him.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm just, trust me, if he didn't do it, Council President, I wouldn't have brought it up. I would have sat here quiet. So where I go with this is, yes, our job is to check the checks and balances. Not all of us do, in my mind, but we all do our part anyway. Some of us just have the mayor's vision; they don't have their own vision, so they want to push that ahead, and that's okay. But working with people means moderation. And if you can't moderate and you can't work with people and you can't give a little bit and it has to be your way or the highway, be honest with you, I think we got to show you the door and show you the highway. But I'd like to thank the public for electing me again. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brescher. Councilman Ajapato, would you like to say something?
I will reserve my comment for the Wednesday meeting.
Okay, Councilman Shmiel.
I'll do the same as Councilman Patel. I'll wait.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so now in terms of the immigration issue, this is a very complex issue, as Councilman Pointer pointed out. I am not fully aware. Empathetically, I agree with immigration, because without immigration, I wouldn't be here living the American dream. And I can't say I'm against immigration one bit. I am disappointed in our federal government, though, because every time election rolls around, they use immigration as a political pawn, not caring about the human cost of the whole situation. And I do agree with Councilwoman Harris, Council Vice President Harris, that we do need to have a plan, at least in this city, at least in this town, as to what we should do or what we can do. I don't believe in not having a process, but I think this is a complex issue that cannot be discussed in one council meeting and have an answer. I believe they've been trying to solve this issue for God knows how many years. But I am hoping that we can start the process to help immigration. I'm just not sure how I can help, what we can do, but I am open to helping. And that's all I can say about this. All right, thank you very much. Now, I would like a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call? No, roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Thank you very much for all being here.